Years old, my uncle was a concert violinist, and he made the mistake of going out to eat with my parents and left the violin at home on the couch. And here is David, 5 years old, figuring out how to unzip the case. I opened it up, and it was like this beautiful, 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 I can't stress it enough, beautiful instrument. And just the curves and the smell of it. And to this day, I still have that smell. When you open the case and you smell that old H varnish and the rosin and the all this stuff in there, it's just beautiful,
like
right?
a new car smell, kind of like it.
Kind of a new car smell, but you know, he had a Guaranini from, I think it was 1780 or something like that. So yeah, it was all to start with, and I fell in love with the idea of playing violin. So he said, oh, one day I'll send you a violin. I'm still waiting for it, but you know, now I make them. But I had that love for the instrument. And eventually I begged enough to my parents, like, please let me take lessons, please let me take lessons, please let me take lessons. I'll tell you this much. If you're performing around the world as a soloist or chamber musician, it's a hard life. If you're a rock musician, it's a hard life. You put in a lot of time and you're hardly ever home. And that was the case with him. All of a sudden we get, oh, there's my uncle. One night, next day he's in a plane going somewhere else. You know, and that's just the way it was. So all those career choices that you talk about, or that we've all spoken about, they all have a certain level of dedication to them. When I make an instrument, it takes, just take a guess. I'll give you a piece of candy if you guess. How long does it take? How long does it take to make a violin? How many hours do you think?
Like maybe like a week or something?
Week? Couple of years? Couple of months?
12 hours?
12 hours? How many? 7 hours?
Like about two to 1.5 days.
Okay.
One?
A month? Okay.
10 hours?
10 hours? Okay. It takes an average of 100 hours on the bench to make a violin. 100 hours. And even a machine, when it cuts it, you know, it can do it in 1 day. But someone has to put it together. The machine will not put it together. But then it goes to a room that's called a paint room, just like they paint cars, and they spray them. You know, so they can, if you do an instrument by a machine, you can make several instruments in 1 week. But if you're making everything by hand, it's my time and my expertise. Why does it take that long? Well, I take a piece of wood and I'm feeling it and listening to it all the way I'm cutting through. Because, let me put it this way. If I take a picture of you, it's a picture of you, right? It's not you, it's a picture of you. So when a machine cuts an instrument and makes a copy of something else, it copies the image of that instrument. But the sound can only be reproduced by the sound of the hearing and the experience of an expert. Does that make sense? So when you reproduce an instrument, you're not only reproducing the looks of it, but you have to reproduce the sound of it. And a machine is not capable of doing that. And we can do that in a car, the experience of a car driving, right? We can produce 100,000 cars that drive the same way. But when it comes to a piece of wood, remember, cutting a piece of wood, all the rings are different. The top of the tree may be different than the bottom of the tree. Why? Because the bottom of the tree is the oldest part of the tree. The top of this tree is the newest part of the tree. And so depending where you cut it, all the different factors of it. Now, I'm telling you all this area that's still within music, right? And when you get down to it, it's not just me, but everybody who makes a tool. If you love making tools, software, accounting, because I need an accountant. I need someone to run, you have to know the business of it and all this stuff. So all these careers that they're telling you about, they're all legit things that we need in every part of the music business. Someone who plays an instrument is not by themselves. There's a whole team behind that you don't see. And that's how all these things go on. So if you have any question, I think we're sharing some information in there as well.
Yep, in the packet.
The package. So I'm doing is the second page, third page, which is says Rosier Apprentice School. And I'm doing an introduction course for this. If you're interested in doing an introduction course, that means that if you think you have the passion to pursue or just curious, then you can contact me. And my information is there, phone number, and from my website you can get to the social media or the email. And then in the back of that, it will tell you the different courses actually that it takes to pursue that specific area. And I split it up in two. One is luthier. Luthier is the one who makes the instrument, and then architeer is the one who makes the bow. And believe it or not, if you make a bow by hand, although it looks like a very simple tool, it takes just as long as making a violin. Figure that one, right? But it's a different tooling and it's a different expertise. A lot of colleagues of mine who are luthiers, who make violins, do not make bows, or vice versa. They make bows, but they don't. So to find artists or craftsmen that make both is quite difficult. And so if you have questions, you know where to reach me, and from there, hopefully we can expose you to something different also in the music business that is kind of the root of it. If you don't have an instrument, you don't have a career in music. You have to have that love for it as well. So thank you, and hopefully if I can help you in any way, please contact me.
So this is actually a great example here. He has a program where you can learn about what he does and what it takes to repair, restore, and create musical instruments. He specifically does string instruments, but somebody made this piano, and somebody restores this piano, somebody tunes that piano. Those are all career options in music. But the first part for all of that is that you have to have a love for music. If you're tuning a piano, you have to be a fairly accomplished pianist in order to know what is happening on the piano and how to make changes to make it sound better for when that artist gets up and performs their concerto with the orchestra. Same thing for strings. All of this percussion equipment, somebody made all of this equipment, all of this electronic equipment. They made all of that. They all still have a love for music and they have an appreciation of that oral form, but maybe they went into science. The marine biologist here, you can go into marine biology and that's awesome, but maybe you still play in a community orchestra, or maybe you still participate in the art scene in your community. Music will hopefully always be a part of your lives. What I will say is visit your communities. Pretty much everybody has some kind of an apprentice or an internship, or even will just do a presentation for you. If you can go into a shop, see what he does, it may spark an interest, and you may decide that you want to go down that path. You can go to a recording studio. You can go with the example that we'll have at this later on today. You can go and spend time with these people, learn what they do, learn how they got into their careers, and learn what your next steps are. Now, the one thing I will tell you is college is important. And I know for a lot of you, college is still really far away, and that's okay. But start thinking now, where can you go? All of these websites we put up for you, they will tell you where the best schools are, they will tell you where to go to get your degree. Get a degree in something. Even if you change your mind later on, get a degree in something because it will help you get a job later on. All of us pretty much have a degree or have multiple degrees that all help us do our jobs, but weren't necessarily what we went to college for, and that's okay. So in your sheet, actually I'm going to do one first. If you'll go to the third one, I think. Keep going now. Here's one of these. I'm looking for the payment. It is the purchase. Yes, that one. So this is a recent-ish, so it's from 2016, but I know all of you are thinking in the back of your minds, and if you aren't, you sort of should be, what can I make in these careers? And these are estimates. So Berkeley College puts together a list every couple of years of all of the careers in the arts. It is the third link on the first page there, so that you have it. And if you'll scroll, just scroll, so you can stop someplace. I wanted the career paths. Stop someplace. Okay, so music business here. So it will tell you possible jobs. So perfect there, instrument maker. So they say the range for an instrument maker is 15,000 to 65,000. That is just a range. So that gives you an idea. If you go to college, if you study, if you prepare and you want to do these, this is a salary that you could possibly make during these careers. As Travis said earlier, it depends on location, it depends on supply and demand, it depends on the quality of your work. So the better your product, the more people are going to be willing to pay for that. But this is a great website to start narrowing down what is the career path, what can I possibly make it a career path. It gives you some additional information about what you do in that career and possible ways to make extra money in that career. It is on your sheet. So colleges. What I will say about colleges is just like your career, it's a personal preference. Nobody can tell you what to do and nobody can tell you where to go to school. You have to figure that out for yourself. We have provided for you some links to the best colleges in America for music. Again, it's a personal preference. I loved my time at Florida State. Absolutely loved it. And I stayed. I got a lot of degrees from Florida State. Maybe you don't want to go to school there. Maybe that's not where you want to be. Travel around, see different schools, talk to different people. Come talk to Travis and say, well, what did you like about Cleveland? You know, what drove you to that school and what did you like most about that school? And then go check it out. So we're not going to go into depth in any of that today because it's a personal preference for you, but we have given you some links and some websites that you can start looking at to kind of narrow your focus down. Now I will say you've got some adults that have chaperoned today and some of these are your teachers. Our contact information is in the packet. Feel free to talk to any of us. We can tell you how we got on our journeys and how we got to where we are today. We can help give you guidance. We can't tell you what to do, but we can give you a guidance and help you find ways. You want to be a composer. Well, here's some local composers that would be willing to help and sit down and give you the training that you need to do all of that. Do we have any questions up to this point? And you can ask questions as we go along here too. No questions? Okay, well, sweet. Can you go to the job? Okay, so we are a symphony orchestra here. Pretty much what we do here is put on live performances of music, of classical music. We do concerts for our community, we do concerts for the local area. But within that, we have a lot of people that work for us doing a lot of different things. David is our repair person. When we need instruments repaired, we send them over to David. Now, you didn't really talk about it, but the quality of instrument and cost of instrument, we have some instruments that are $500. We have some instruments that are hundreds of thousands of dollars. You know, and each of our musicians plays on something different. If you are considering a career in performing, play as much as you possibly can. Play for anybody, go to your churches, go to your community, go to your libraries, play at your schools, just play, 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 play. The more you play your instrument, the better you're going to be at your instrument, and the more you can study and get through all of that. As we were saying with all of these links, feel free to visit these websites, kind of check out what it is that they do. I don't know, you have any advice for college?
Really, it's just, it is, like you said, it's a personal preference. I chose where I decided to go to school based on the teachers that were there. And not every teacher is going to work for you, and you find the best fit for what you're looking for and what they can do for you, and start there. And I mean, there's bukus of schools out there.
Do we have any high school kids here today? I think most of you. So we got a couple high school kids. Have you decided what you want to do yet?
Yeah.
What do you want to
I
do?
want to go into dental hygiene.
Dental hygiene, wow,
Right.
that's a great path. But will you continue in music? Will you continue to play? You don't know yet? Okay, well, but see, and this is a great example, you know, she's pretty sure what she wants to do, and great, we fully support all of that. You know, figure out a way to keep music a part of your life, because it'll give you that enjoyment. But your choice in careers, it is completely and totally up to you. So the last thing I will say before we break for lunch here,
I can add to that. For my class and for some other students, I went to the U for music business. So if you want to know about the music business, because the knowledge of the music business would be very helpful, because if you become an artist, you know, it'll help you with being able to protect yourself from getting ripped off. So if you get into the music business, I also did it online, so I know how it is with sometimes you can't make it everywhere, so you could do some of these programs actually online as well if you need to, and also still maintain your career. So if you were going to be the dental hygienist and you still wanted to do something in music, there's ways that you guys can do stuff online, because you guys are in this technology age. So that's another way to think about it as well. So if you still have that passion for music, you can go there virtually and you can go there physically. So that's another way to think about it for yourselves too. So you can still do all the other things you want to do, and still get the education you want in a different route.
Aren't you a rapper once?
he does a little bit of everything. And that's the best part of all of this, is that you can go to school for music business and you can still participate in a lot of other activities. You can go as dental hygienist. Most likely the school you're going to end up has an arts program. You know, so you can still play in your school orchestra or band or sing in the choir, take a business class. You can still do all of that, and that's the luxury of being in school. So for all of you middle school, especially for your middle school, take as many elective classes as you can. Take a variety of elective classes. Even if you say to yourself, oh, I'm not sure I'm going to like it, take it anyways, because at least you can check that box. And you never know. I had a kid recently who really thought he was going to be a performance major, ended up taking shop and auto mechanic in high school, and he thought he was going to hate it. He absolutely loves it, and now he's going more engineering because he found that he really liked working with his hands and he really liked the science and the math behind all of that. He would have never had that experience and would never go that path if he didn't at least attempt to take that class. So please, take as many classes you can possibly take, because you never know what's going to happen. Now the last thing I'm going to say to you guys, for those looking to get into college, start early. The earlier you can start narrowing down where you want to go to school and start putting together your applications, the better. Do not wait till the last minute. Please do not wait till your senior year to start thinking about all of this. Your teachers are here to help you through all of that. We will help you do all of that. We did in this pamphlet here, I'm going to borrow yours again, so sorry. We included 12 questions to consider when you're thinking about a music program. Again, it's a very personal decision and you have to make that yourself, but these are things that you can start thinking about as you're trying to check off those boxes. This relates to anything. So we're talking specifically music, but whatever career path you want to go into, it's basically the same questions. Do I like the faculty? Do I like the campus? Where have the graduates gone on to? If you graduate with your bachelor's in this field from this school, what's your likelihood of getting a job straight out of college? All of those are very important questions that you need to ask yourself. What? You can have a job while you're in college. And there are people that will get a job in order to help pay for college, and that is fine. And all of those experiences will make you more well-rounded and make you better for your jobs. So questions? Okay. If you need to use the restrooms, there are bathrooms right behind us here. If you will not go into the next part of the building because we do have another event going on, we want to give you a little bit of time to eat. We're not going to rush you through this. If you do have questions, please just raise your hand. We're happy to come around and answer for you. But it is 11:40 right now, so we'll give you about a half hour for lunch. Restrooms, anybody?